Hey guys, hope you are having a wonderful day. In this video, let's talk about the two new sets that are coming out in version 2.3. Now this is the first part. These two are the only sets that they teased in the live stream. They actually showed these snippets in the live stream so I can actually talk about them. The other new set that is coming out, which is the two planar ornaments that is going to be appearing in the new simulated universe. Was it 9? I'm not exactly sure the numbers anymore. But let's talk about these two first. Who are they good for? I think some of you might be farming for them for specific characters, and maybe you just want to know whether you should wait on them, will you chill, are they worth it to farm? Let's answer all these questions. TLDR, this channel is all about straight to the point content. Thank you so much members for supporting us as well. TLDR, I think that this domain is very niche. If you are a new player coming to the game that generally doesn't care too much about follow-up or break effect, I think you can ignore this domain. There are many other domains which are generally better for your account, but these do play into a lot of characters that are being released. So if you are pulling for new characters, you likely want to look into him. Let's start off first with the one that interests a bit more people, which is the first set, that is Iron Cavalry against the Scourge. This one is probably going to be up a lot of people's radar, especially since we had two new characters that are scaling with break effect. The first one, of course, is Firefly. Let me just move this to the side here. Very popular character, and another character that recently has just been released, which is Huynh. I think that these two characters will benefit the most from this one. The first question some of you might be wondering is, EOD, why don't you just run a two-piece combination of like this break effect set with this break effect, as well as so Thief of Shooting Meteor, this Watchmaker Legacy? Why don't you just run like a two-piece and you get like so much break effect already? Yes, that technically works. If you are an early game player and you're just looking for stats, you can actually get it from a two-piece combination. However, the Thief of Shooting Meteor gives a bit more energy at 4-piece, and the Watchmaker's Legacy is more of a supportive set which you are using to buff your break effect for your main DPS, like these two for example. So better to select on like support characters, these two. And Thief of Shooting Meteor is mainly for the energy restoration, which doesn't really proc very often as well. So Iron Cavalry against the Scourge is way better for DPSs. Can I use the word power creep? Power creep is the other break effect sets, but really I think it's the only set in the game for break effect DPSs, and very nice because these two characters are a bit in an awkward position when they don't have their best in slot. This Iron Cavalry against the Scourge, I do think that it's likely going to be best in slot for both of them, and here's why. They will generally be played at very high break effect of 250% or higher anyway. Huynh caps off at 300% generally to get the max crit rate, crit damage on him. Firefly's kit is not officially out yet as of time of recording, but I do think that likely she will scale very nicely with 250%, even higher, maybe even 300%. So you will proc the entirety of this entire set, which makes sense because the set looks like it's designed for Firefly anyway, with all the Iron Cavalry kind of look. So break effect 150% or higher, you ignore 10% of enemy defense when dealing break damage, especially if your character is majority going to be break damage. It's going to be very nice. The question that I have is the break damage that comes from the super break damage that you see here in this second part, 250% or higher super break damage that they deal, additionally ignores 15% more. Does this stack? Like, does the super break damage count as this 10% plus 15%, so a total of 25%, or are they like different? So break effect, break damage is like 1, and then super break damage is another 1. We have to run the numbers, but ignore defense is something that is not very often found in a lot of characters kits naturally. So I think that this is tons of value. Besides, the other options that are available in the game do not buff this super break damage. This is the first set that is being done. The question is, does this super break also stack with a character like Harmony MC? Does Harmony MC actually need to use this set to deal more super break damage, or is it the character themselves that are attacking that is the one that is calculating super break damage? So for for Harmony MC, I think it's a bit unclear. If Harmony MC needs to wield this set to do more super break damage, I could see a case that instead of Harmony MC running the Watchmaker Legacy, people might consider changing to Iron Cavalry against the Scourge, especially if your main DPSs have already enough break effect that don't require that funneling. So those are some of my thought process that I have and the things that are still needed to test out. Without a doubt, these two characters probably are number 1. What I'll look for is whether super break damage, how the mechanic works. Does it have to be equipped on Harmony MC or not to get the full benefit? So that's the things that's running through my mind. Other characters that could benefit nicely from this is maybe any character that can be played with super break damage. For example, a character that I'm thinking of right now maybe is a character like Sherman. Of course, she works a lot better with like the quantum set because of the defense ignore, right? The quantum set gives already a lot of defense ignore. So this one might be a bit more niche for this character, but if you're looking to hit certain thresholds, like maybe you just need a little bit more break effect, you could consider it, especially if some of you don't play quantum teams, you don't farm the quantum set. I see this as a possible alternative, not really the best out of all of them as well, but I think it's copium in a sense. So I don't really like it on Trey, but I could see it work. The other characters in the game currently do not scale very well with break effect. Maybe the only character that you're thinking of is Runmei, but I really recommend going for the Watchmaker Legacy set instead. I think this one buffs your teammate a lot more, 30% buff for the rest of your team. As you can see, a lot of main DPSs now do require that break effect. So if you are trying to pass over that break effect, I think the Watchmaker Legacy is a pretty nice set for Runmei to have nowadays, especially with the number of break effect DPSs. Before we go into the second one, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who are you? Are you going to be farming this set? Are you going to be like, you already saved up all your fuel, going to spam this? Or what is your plans as well? But yeah, let's talk about the second one. This one, I don't really like as much, if I would be really honest with you. And that's why you come to this channel, right? You want honest opinions. Why do I not like this one? I think that this is going to be a very situational set. Let me explain why. You get attack in the 2-piece. This is a 4-piece set, of course. It's not a planar ornament. So don't think of the likes of something like Inert Salsoto. It's not Inert Salsoto. This can be paired together with this. So you can get even more like out follow-up damage here and there. But Inert Salsoto is a 2-piece. So that's a planar ornament. It's totally different sets. This one, you get attack in the 2-piece and you get a bit of crit rate here and there. 6% crit rate. After you use a follow-up attack, you don't get buffed for the follow-up attack, by the way. You increase the damage dealt by ultimate by 30%. So when this actually outperforms, and notice that the numbers here is 30%, this is taken from the live stream, official live stream information. They could change it because they did say it's like subjected to change, but by and large, if they are releasing it in live stream, I don't think they'll change it too much already. The competition for this one is Ashe, Blazing, Grand Duke, and pardon me, let me just move it to the side here and block some characters, but so that you can see it side by side. The 2-piece, this is in my opinion like the biggest competition right now for characters in the game. Ashe Blazing Grand Duke gives you a general follow-up attack 20%. You can't run a 2-piece because this one is like attack percentage by 12%. It would be nice if it's like a follow-up attack bonus of 20%, but it is what it is. So you get some 20% here, and as you can see, when the wearer launches follow-up attacks, you basically increase the wearer 6% for every time a follow-up deals damage. You can stack up to a maximum of 8 times and last for 3 turns. Effect is removed next time the wearer uses a follow-up attack. So you do get a lot of this attack percentage in the 4-piece from this that competes very nicely with this like 2-piece this Huynh Soaring Valorous set already. And you get a universal 20% damage bonus regardless of whether you use a follow-up attack in your talent, your skill, your out. When does this set outperform is really when majority of your damage comes from your follow-up, your ultimate damage, pardon me. So you need to have the ultimate burst. That big burst has to be most of your damage to warrant this loss of 20% follow-up attack, because your follow-up attacks will be doing 20% less if you are comparing with Ashe Blazing Grand Duke. That is one of the key differences between the two sets in the game, which means that any character using the Huynh Soaring Valorous wants to only mainly majority of damage is focused in a very small window, and that window is this ultimate attack here. My opinion, I think that I don't think they officially talked about it, or maybe they did as well, but I think Jade will be like a likely candidate for this set. A character who has follow-up in the kit, maybe doesn't do too much damage within the follow-up attacks, and majority of the damage maybe comes from the ultimate burst, a big burst. Could see the most value out of this one. I think that this is the character that performs best with this set. Otherwise, I think it's a bit of a challenge to compete this set against something like the Ashe Blazing Grand Duke from a lot of other characters in the game. Let's give an example of some characters that have it. Let's say Dr. Ratio, of course, were rather the debuff set, so I don't think that's worth talking about. For Topaz and Nambi, I would say that her out doesn't do damage at all, so she'll likely prefer the other one already, very simply. Let me see some other characters in the game that relies on follow-up attack. Let's talk about a few. I know there's a lot of characters. Himiko, maybe, but her follow-up attacks do quite a lot of damage as well. Possibly, maybe Himiko could be a beneficiary in this set since she doesn't do tons and tons of follow-up attacks. It's just like one every now and then, unless you are breaking a lot of fire weakness. So I see that Himiko could use either of them really, since she doesn't really stack this bottom part as much. But one thing about Ashe Blazing Grand Duke that is not really talked about a lot is you can run just a 2-piece for the follow-up and another 2-piece. It's much more like flexible compared to the Wind Soaring Valorous, who really is a bit more restrictive with this attack percentage 12%, which means characters, for example like Aventurine over here, doesn't get really too much value out of it. Where's my Aventurine? Okay, yeah, he's right here. So he doesn't really get too much value out of it because it's like defense percentage scaling, and then you give him like attack percentage. So it's quite unfortunate that is attack percentage rather than anything else. I think that's my main gripe with it. But yeah, those are some of my thoughts on the new sets. I do think it's good for future characters. I would mainly be farming this set primarily for the Iron Cavalry against the Scourge. I think this is very strong, especially for if you are maining, for example, Firefly and Boot Hill, for example. Great sets to have. Unfortunately, this one likely I'll try to like maybe further or give it to like Jade. A bit inefficient. For newer players, I don't really recommend this domain unless you are like a super Firefly main. But that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Are you going to be farming this set, or are you like skipping? You rather farm some other set which is more efficient? And if you want to know my thoughts on the efficient domains in Honkai Star Rail to farm, check out this video. I'll link right here in the end screen. I think it's very useful, especially for any person having a limited amount of Trailblaze energy and you want to allocate it to the most efficient sets in the game. Thank you guys again so much for watching. See you next video.